Welcome back to my new video lectures. Myself Professor Pinkesh J. Patel from the Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. The journey of this college started in the field of engineering and technology as per the guideline of AICTE, that is the All India Council for Technical Education, New Delhi in 2004, and MGTER is approved by AICTE New Delhi and affiliated to GTU, that is the Gujarat Technological University, Ahmedabad. This institute is located at South Gujarat in peaceful and pollution-free environment of the western region of the country. The MGTER aims to provide value-based education. The motive behind to provide quality technical education at people's doorstep at an affordable cost. Not only studious activities, but there are many extracurriculum activities like state level tech fairs, different sports activities and cultural activity held during the year at MGTER for the overall improvement of the student. So today I will start with the subject of interconnected power system, having a subject code of 2170901 BE 4th year 7th semester. So today I will start with the chapter number 3, that is the load flow study. So already we have discussed, there are two videos that is based on the load flow study. So this is the flow of the contents. Introduction, static load flow equation, then bus classification, approximate method, Gauss-Seidel method, then Newton-Raphson method, fast decoupled load flow method, comparison of different method, and numericals. So up to now, based on the previous lecture, we have discussed about introduction, then static load flow equation, then bus classification, approximate method, then the Gauss-Seidel method. So today I will start with the new topic, that is the Newton-Raphson method. So firstly, the power flow problem that can be solved with the help of Newton-Raphson method. So Newton-Raphson method, which can be used for the load flow studies, which can be used for the solving the equation of non-linear algebraic equation. This method having a drawback of having a large computer memory that can be required for the system. So let's start with the Newton-Raphson method in the details. So to apply the Newton-Raphson method to the solution of the power flow equation, firstly we will solve the bus voltages and line admittance in terms of polar form. So active power and reactive power having a function of phase angle and voltage, that is written as Pi, that is equal to function F1, that is function of delta, and having a voltage magnitude that is given by V. Same way, reactive power, that is the function of phase angle and voltage that is given inside the equation. So based on that, we will write the equation in terms of active power and reactive power. So we will get the equation of Pi is equal to summation of k is equal to 1 to n Vi Vk Yik cos theta ik plus delta k minus delta I. So we will say that is the function of active power, that is the function of voltage and phase angle. Same way, reactive power, that is equal to, we will write minus summation of k is equal to 1 to n Vi Vk Yik sin theta ik plus delta k minus delta I. So this is the equation for the active power and reactive power, that is the already we have derived in terms of static load flow equation. So based on that equation, we will say that reactive power, that is the function of voltage and phase angle. So the real and the reactive power are the function of voltage and phase angle. So we will start with the voltage. So if we will try to write down the equation for the voltage having n terms, so we will write the equation magnitude of the V, that is equal to V1 magnitude of the v1 comma magnitude of the v2, and if we will try to write up to n times, so that is the vn, magnitude of the vn, and having a up to infinite time or n times. Same way we will write for the delta, that is the phase angle. So if we will write to a phase angle up to a n times, so that is written as delta is equal to delta 1 comma delta 2 up to delta n. So in short, we will write the equation active power, that is the function of V, and delta, that is the voltage and phase angle. So for that we will write that is the PIX, and same way we will write for the reactive power, that is the voltage magnitude, and the delta, that is equal to, we will write QIX, where X, that is equal to delta by V, that we will assume. So in terms of iterative x should tend to that value, which makes pi minus pix, that is equal to 0, and same way we will write qi minus qix, that is equal to 0. So in short, we will write pi, that is equal to p schedule, then pix, that is equal to px, that is equal to calculate the value at the load buses. Now we get the equation in terms of matrix form. So we will write the equation reactive power, that is equal to q schedule, same way, that is equal to qix is equal to qx. So this is the value of active power and reactive power, that is we have written over here. Then we get the matrix, we get the equation in terms of matrix form. So we will write the equation f of x, that is equal to p schedule minus px, then q schedule minus qx. So that is equal to, in short we will write, that is equal to delta of p of x, that is the change in the active power and change in the reactive power. So del px and del qx, that is approximate, we will assume that is equal to 0. So same way here we will write for the delta pi, and what we will write for the delta pi, where delta pi, that is equal to del pi by del delta 2 plus del pi by del delta 3 del delta 3 plus, in this way we will write up to n times. So now we will represent one of the matrix that is considered as a Jacobian matrix. So f of x, that is equal to, we will write delta p of x, and delta q of x, that is equal to, we will write minus j11x minus j12x minus j21x and minus j22x, and this is the function of del delta and del v, because this is the function of phase angle and voltage. So that's why we will write the equation in this form. So Jx is the Jacobian matrix, that is the already we have discussed here. We will represent the one of the matrix which is considered as a Jacobian matrix. So minus j11x, that is equal to, we will write del pi x divided by del k. Same way we will write for the minus j12 of x, that is equal to del pi of x and del vk, minus j21x, that is equal to del qi by qix del k, and same way last one, that is the minus j22x, that is equal to del qi of x and divided by del vk. This is the function of phase angle as well as voltage, where I is equal to 2 to n times. We will not start with the 1, because bus number 1, that is work as a slack bus, and k is equal to again 2 to n times. So from the equation of active power and reactive power, that is the equation of the active power and reactive power, we will write del pi by x divided by del k, that is equal to summation of k is equal to 1 to n, where k is not equal to I, vi magnitude of vk, yik sin theta ik plus delta k minus delta I for I is equal to k. Same way we will write the equation in terms of voltage. So that is written as del pi of x divided by del vk, that is equal to vi yk cos theta ik plus delta k minus delta I for I is not equal to k, that is equal to, we will write 2 vi cos theta ii plus summation of k is equal to 1 to n, k is not equal to I, Vk Yik cos theta Ik plus delta K minus delta I. So this is the equation for the active power for I is equal to K and I is not equal to K. Same way we will go for the equation of the reactive power. So that is written as del of Qix divided by del K, that is equal to Vi Yik Vk cos theta Ik plus delta K minus delta I for I is not equal to K. Same way having so that is equal to, we will write minus of K is equal to 1 to n, K is not equal to I. So that is multiply with the Vi Vk Yik cos theta Ik plus delta K minus delta I for I is equal to K. Same way if we will write to equation for the reactive power, and that is with respect to the voltage, so that is written as del Qi of x divided by del Vk, that is equal to Vi Yk sin theta Ik plus delta K minus delta I for I is equal to K. So that is also written as 2 Vi Yii sin theta Ii plus summation of K is equal to 1 to n, K is not equal to I, Vk Yik sin theta Ik plus delta K minus delta I. So that is for the I is equal to K. This is the equation that is already we have get for the static load flow equation. In this equation we will try to apply some of the changes, so we will get the equation. Therefore the Jacobian matrix is rearranged for obtain the approximate correction, that is equal to Hik, that is equal to del Pi by del K, that is equal to I is equal to 2 to n times and K is equal to 2 to n times. Same way we will represent one more Jacobian matrix, that is the Nik. So we will write the equation Nik is equal to del Pi by del Vk. Same way Jik, that is the del Qi by del K, and Lik, that is equal to del Qi by del Vk. So in general the power flow equation in Newton-Raphson method can be written as del Pi up to del Qi, that is equal to Hik Nik Jik Lik and del K and del by Vk. That is if we will go for the active power and reactive power, that is for the ith PQ bus, whereas Jacobian matrix, that is for the kth bus, whereas last one, that is PQ bus, that is up to Q side. So this is regarding to the Newton-Raphson method. Now we will go for the advantages and disadvantages of the Newton-Raphson method, or we will say that is the NR method. So we will start with the first one, that is the advantages of the NR method. So having a first advantage is that the NR method is faster and more reliable and results are more accurate, that require less number of iteration for convergence. The number of iterations are dependent of the size of the system, and it is more suitable for the large size system. So this is the advantages of the NR method. Now we will go for the disadvantages of the NR method. The programming logic is more complex than the GS method. The computer memory requirement is more, than number of calculation per iteration are higher than the GS method. So if we will compare the NR method with the GS method, that is the Gauss Seidel method, so we will say that inside the Newton-Raphson method that can require less number of iteration, whereas GS method that can require the more number of iteration, but the time required per iteration that should be less in terms of Gauss Seidel method, whereas time required per iteration that should be high in terms of the NR method. There is a one more difference, that NR method that can be suitable for the large system, whereas GS method that is suitable for the small system. Then after, the programming computer memory that is required, that is high or more in terms of Newton-Raphson method, whereas in terms of GS method computer memory requirement that is less. So this is the advantages and disadvantages, or from that we will write the difference in between Newton-Raphson method and the GS method, that is the Gauss Seidel method. Now we will go for the flow chart for the load flow studies using Newton-Raphson method. So having a two theory, that is the first one, that is the flow chart for the load flow studies using Newton-Raphson method, and second one, that is the algorithm for the Newton-Raphson method. So if we will remember the algorithm for the Newton-Raphson method, then after we will easily draw the flow chart. So we will start with the both the theory parallelly. So firstly we will go for the algorithm, and having a step number 1, that is assume a suitable solution for all the buses except the slack buses. So in that case we will go for the flow chart. So we will start with start and read in the system data and formulate Y admittance matrix. We will make a Y bus from the given data. Then after we will assume a bus voltages as Vi is equal to 1 plus J0 for I is equal to 1 to n times, where I is not equal to S, and Vs, that is written as A plus J0. Now go for the algorithm. In that case we will go for the case step number 2. So set the convergence criteria, that is equal to epsilon, that is if the largest of absolute of the residue exceed epsilon, the process is repeated, otherwise it is terminated. So now we will go for the flow chart. So in that case we will set the convergence criteria, that is equal to epsilon. Then after step number 3, that is set iteration count k is equal to 0. So we will set the iteration criteria, that is equal to k is equal to 0. That is already mentioned inside the flow chart over here, k is equal to 0. Now then after we will go for the step number 4 inside the algorithm. That is the step number 4, that is the set bus count I is equal to 1. Bus count I is equal to 1. So that is already we have set inside the flow chart. Set bus count I is equal to 1, that is shown inside the figure. Then after we will go for the step number 5, that check if I is the slack bus. If yes, then go to the step number 10. Now we will go for the step number 5. Check if I is the slack bus, then if yes, then go to the step number 10. So now we will go for the figure side. So check for the slack bus. If yes, then it is go to the step number 10, and if no, then we will go for the further procedure, that is step number 6. Step number 6. If yes, then it can be go to the step number 10. But if the conditions are wrong, then it is go for the step number 6, that is the calculate the real and reactive power Pi and Qi respectively using the equation. So inside the flow chart already we have mentioned that if the conditions are true, then it is go to the step number 10. But if the conditions are wrong, then it is go for the next step, that is the calculation of the active power and reactive power. So that is the calculate Pi and Qi, that is mentioned inside the figure. Now we will go for the next step, that is evaluate del Pik is equal to Psi minus Pik. So now we will go for the flow chart. So evaluate delta Pik, that is equal to Pi specific minus Pik. Then after we will go for the next step, that check if the bus in equation is greater than bus. If yes, then compare the Qik with the limits. If the exceed the limit, fix the reactive power generation to the corresponding limit and treat the bus for the iteration and go to the next step. If the conditions are true, then compare the Qik. So we will go for the figure. So if the conditions are true, then it can if the conditions are true, then it can go for the check the condition, that is the Qi less than Qi minimum. Or if it is no, then it is go to the next step, that is over here, that is go to the evaluated delta Qi, that is equal to Qis minus Qik. Now we will go for the next step, that is step number 9. Evaluate delta Qik, that is equal to Qis minus Qik, that is already we have discussed here. If the conditions are wrong, then it is go to the that step. then advance the bus count by 1, that is equal to I plus 1, and check if all the buses have been accounted. If not, then go to the step number 5. Now we will go for the flow chart. In that case, we will go for the advanced bus count, that is equal to I is equal to 1 over here, that is set over here, and if the and check if all the buses have been accounted. If not, then go to the step number 5. If these conditions are wrong, then it is go to the step number 5, that is go to the step number 5. Then after, we will go for the next step, that is determine the largest of the absolute value of the residue. Determine the largest values of the absolute of the residue. If the largest of the absolute value, that is residue, is less than epsilon, now we will go for the next step, that is checking the condition over here. If this value, that is less than epsilon, then it is go to the step number 17. So it is go to the if that is less than the condition, then it is go to the step number 17, and in this way calculate the line flows and the slack bus power, and it can finishing the process. But if the conditions are wrong, then it is go to the next step, that is evaluate the elements for Jacobian matrix. Evaluate the Jacobian matrix for evaluate the elements of the Jacobian matrix. Then after, calculate the voltage increments, that delta Ik and delta Vik. So delta Vik and new bus voltages, that is written as delta Ik plus 1 plus delta Ik, that is also written as Vik plus 1, that is equal to Vk plus delta Vik. I is equal to 1 to n times, where I is not equal to S. Now next step, that is calculate the new bus voltages, that is given by Vi cos delta and sin delta I. Then after, evaluate the cos delta and sin delta of all the voltages, that is already mentioned inside the step number 15, that is mentioned over here. Evaluate the cos delta and sin delta of all the voltages. So that's why we will go for the next step, that is the calculate over here. Then after, check the condition, that is check for a generation bus. If yes, then it is go to the delta Ik plus 1, that is already equation, that is already we have discussed. And if the condition are wrong, then it is go to the over here, that is the Vi less than is equal to Vi minimum, and again that is wrong, then again it is check the condition, that is Vi less than equal to Vi max. And we will go for the next step, that is the step number 16, that is advanced iteration count, that is the K is equal to K plus 1, and go to the step number 4. So next step, that is evaluate bus and line power and print the result, and in this way it can try to finishing the step over here. Again it can come back to the next step, whatever the parameter that is come from the step number 4, that is mentioned over here, and in this way it can finishing the process over here. So this is the things that is regarding to the flow chart and algorithm for the Newton-Raphson method. So we have discussed about the flow chart and the algorithm for the Newton-Raphson method. Now suppose if we will assume having if we will try to connect the assume the one pi transmission line and transformer that is connected in between two buses. So firstly we will assume that the line that is connected between two buses, that is the bus number A and bus number B, that is already we have assumed the figure in terms of GS method. The line and transformer at each end can be represented by whatever the line which is considered as a pi line. This circuit having admittance that is given by YAB, that is the series admittance, whereas shunt admittance that is given by YAB0 and YBA0. So we will write the equation IAB, that is equal to IAB1 plus IAB0, that is equal to, we will write VA minus VB. that is the this is the figure that is already we have discussed in terms of GS method. GS method. So in that case we will write the equation IAB is equal to IAB1 plus IAB0. If we will write to equation in terms of voltage and admittance, so that is written as VA minus VB, that is equal to YAB plus VA into YAB0. If we will write down the equation in terms of complex power, so that is written as SAB, that is equal to PAB plus JQAB, that is equal to VAB star, that is the complex conjugate. So that is also written as VA star, that is in the bracket VA minus VB star YAB plus VA into VA star into Y star AB0. Here whatever the figure that is represented for the Gauss-Seidel method, but we will discuss about the Newton-Raphson method. So in that case we have assumed the parameter that is based on the bus A and bus B. So whatever the equation that we will get, that is based on the A and B only. So complex powered, that is fed by the bth bus into the connecting bth and 8th bus, that is written as SBA, that is equal to VB in the bracket VB minus VA YAB plus VB then VB star into YA star BA0, that is equal to, we will write the equation VB square YAB minus VB into VA star YAB plus VB square Y star BA0. Therefore, the power flow through all the lines can be calculated. The power loss in the line connecting the bus number A and bus number B is given by the algebraic sum of the complex power, that is the SAB and SBA. Therefore, the total transmission loss in the sum of losses that can be over all the lines. Therefore, the slack bus power is calculated by the summing the flows on the lines at terminating the slack bus. So if we will connecting the bus number, any bus in terms of Gauss-Seidel method, we have assumed that is the I and K bus, whereas in terms of Newton-Raphson method we have assumed the bus number A and B, and whatever the equation that we will get, that is based on the bus number A and bus number B, that is already we have discussed yet. Now we will go for the some question that should be asked inside the G2 papers. So we will start with the first one, that is the explain different types of buses in the power system, which is asked inside the winter 2019 and having a total of 4 marks. That is already we have discussed inside the lecture number 1. Then what is the static load flow analysis? Write the equation of the real and reactive power injected in at ith bus in a general power system. That is asked inside the winter 2019 and having a 7 marks. That is also we have discussed inside the lecture number 1. Then give comparison between Gauss-Seidel and Newton-Raphson method for load flow equation. So if we will remember about the theory regarding to the GS method as well as Newton-Raphson method, then we will easily write the comparison in between Gauss-Seidel method and Newton-Raphson method. So that is already we have finished inside the lecture number 2 and lecture number 3. Then when the generator bus is treated as the load bus, that is already we have finished it. Then why bus admittance matrix is used in the Gauss-Seidel instead of bus admittance matrix, that is asked inside the summer 2019 and having a 4 marks. Explain properties of Y bus matrix, which is asked inside the winter 2018 and having a 4 marks. Next question, that is the state the assumptions made for load flow studies and application of load flow studies, which is asked inside the year of winter 2018 and having a 3 marks. Next one, that is the explain the GS method with the help of flowchart, that is already we have discussed inside the previous lecture, which is asked inside the winter 2018 and having a 7 marks. What are the advantages of FDLF method over the NR method? So up to now we have finishing the NR method only. FDLF method, that is the remaining part. Question number 10, that is the explain need of load flow analysis, derive static load flow equation, that is already we are finishing inside the lecture number 1, which is asked inside the summer 2018 and having a 7 marks. And last one, that is the explain Jacobian matrix related to the NR load flow method, that is already we have discussed in today's lecture. which is asked inside the 7 marks. So this is the some of the question that is asked inside the GTU papers. So in the today's lecture, we have finishing the one of the best method that should be considered as a Newton-Raphson method, which can be used inside the load flow study for the power solution. So in the next lecture, we will go for the another method, that is a decoupled load flow method and fast decoupled load flow method, and having a flowchart and algorithm related to the individual method that we will discuss inside the next lecture. Thank you.